Good morning, gladiators. We who are about to play Salutio! Alright, well, it's that time again. You know what time it is. Games Gladiator Season 2 has begun. So, for those who don't know what the Games Gladiator is, it's basically me, Oliver Joyce, from Whiskey Barrel Studios, playing through the games of my childhood and, some of the games that I love from present day. I'm not very good at games, I'm going to be honest with you. I do love games, but I never really had the skill to play them very well. I am a games developer, designer, and so I know the mechanics behind the games, but in execution, I struggle through them. And that is a great segue to a game that many people have struggled through, Dark Souls, and that is our first game for Season 2. It's a tough one, and it's a game that I finished some years ago, and back in the Xbox 360 days, and it's a game that we will be exploring today. So without further ado, we'll get stuck into it. So here we are, playing Dark Souls. Now, I skipped the introduction of the game with the character creation and a little tutorial and got straight into the game proper because many of you may have seen Dark Souls already, and for those who haven't, this is kind of where it begins, here at the Firelink Shrine. Our character is a knight. I've chosen to play as a knight in full armor. You're an undead character who basically begins the game as this corpse-like figure. The game itself is quite an obtuse story, really. It's told through snippets of conversations and fragments of text and so on, but it takes quite a while to sort of piece together what's actually going on. The game originally came out in 2011 from a company called From Software, and it was well received over here. Grab that. And it was billed as this really tough as nails kind of dark fantasy role-playing game. Let's chat to that guy. There are a lot of little weird characters like this that you can chat to, and they give you little snippets of information about the world, and you sort of have to piece together the story based on that. You gotta be careful. If you swing your sword accidentally at them, they'll either attack you or they'll disappear, and you'll never actually be able to see them again. It's a very unforgiving game to the point where you can't even pause the game. I remember buying this game back when it first came out in 2011 on the Xbox 360. We're playing the remastered version now on the PC, which came out last year, and some of the textures have changed and so on. But when it came out at the time, I remember thinking, a little rough around the edges, but just this beautiful, forbidding world that just held so much magic and darkness to it. The cool thing about it is everywhere you see in this world you can go. So up there, that bridge and those ramparts, we can go there later. What we're going to do first, though, is explore a little bit. You swing your sword, you've got your inventory and different weapons and so on. It's very much an open world game with some paths. Down there is under the city that leads to Blight Town and so on. And up there is the upper parts of the castle and eventually an entirely new area. This game took me originally about 80 hours to finish. I'm never very good at these games. Let's chat to him. No, let's not. Wander up here, see what's going on. Yeah, 80 hours and many deaths. I probably died 300-400 times easily. No problem at all. Others, however, have finished this game, not only on one life, which is an impressive feat, but they've finished this game without even taking a hit, a single hit. Can you believe that? Whoa, let's fall down here. Go through there. Where am I going? A bit lost. Ah, our first death. Unceremonious. What actually I'm going to stop mucking around. I'm going to take us to the first real area of the game, which is called the Undead Burg. It is a fascinating game with so many secrets, and it doesn't hold your hand at all, you know. One of the things that makes the game so intimidating, to new players especially, is this sort of discovery and just sense of you can go anywhere, but everything's going to kill you. Even tough, simple enemies like the skeleton can be challenging because they don't just necessarily go down with one hit. And I'm heavily armored, but games like God of War allow you to just kind of slash, 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 slash. But a game like this requires you to, defend and parry. Someone's throwing fire bombs at us from up there. Friendly character. There we have a soul. Souls are basically currency in this game. You pick up souls from killing enemies. We've got 200 souls at the moment. And you can use them to level up and, improve your gear. Whoa, no! And where the game gets dastardly is that when you die, you lose all those souls. And you get one chance to pick them up again. And if you don't get them then, it's all over. You lose all your souls. See that giant bird over there? That's what we arrived on, this giant crow that took us from the starting area of the asylum. Now, I'm just going to have a look at what the Estus flask button is, because I can't remember. Now, I played this on a gamepad a while ago. How do we use our Estus? Use item R. There we go. Estus flasks are your healing, and they're basically the key to keeping you alive. As you can see there, we have 9 Estus flasks, and we can make them more powerful eventually and get more of them. That's where we want to be, up there, up on that bridge. It's our mission for the day. Use another one. We'll head up. It's just something just haunting about this game. This is now 7 or 8 years old, and even with the remastered textures, it's still, it looks dated, but the level design and the atmosphere is, for me, paralleled in a fantasy game. Perhaps The Witcher comes close to sort of matching it, but even that, I don't think, has the sort of stark beauty of a game like this. Now, we want to kill this guy without getting hit, because if he poisons us, we remain poisoned. Anyway, we've killed that rat. We're making our way through this sewer up to the burg. It's a tough game, because when you die, you reappear at a bonfire, but it can be a bit of a distance away. Okay, it's open. And some areas, you can spend minutes and minutes going from one area to the next. And there's that fear of like, don't die now, because you just want to get to the safety of the bonfire. When you get to a bonfire, of course, all the monsters reset. Here's a skelly. One of the mistakes that I made when I first started playing this game, and also a mistake I'm kind of making in this playthrough because it's been a long time, was my just impatience and wanting to just power through everything rather than sort of, wait for their tells, let them attack, hit them while they're vulnerable. Because that green bar, like I said, is your stamina, and if your stamina runs out, you can't attack or defend. And these guys are, of course, easy enemies, but there are merciless enemies later in the game, and bosses and so on, which, they get one opening on you, they will kill you with 1 or 2 shots. And in a tough boss fight, someone which can go for 5-10 minutes, you don't want to have that. Okay, I'm looking for the bonfire. often through these white doors you'll find there is a boss fight. I don't believe there is one here from memory. No, there isn't. That's great. But often that signifies you're in for some hurt. Now we want to try and find the first bonfire, which I believe is up here. So we're now... Whoa! What's that? I forgot about that. That, my friends, is a dragon. And he's flown over there, and he will be landing on a bridge far away from us. But he'll be patrolling that bridge, and later on we're going to confront him. There are moments of just sheer awe and beauty in this game. I heard of a person that hooked this up to an Oculus Rift, the VR headsets, and they said that the sheer scale of the dragon and some of the castles and so on just felt almost overwhelming, you know, in their scale and their dark beauty. Alright, there's a couple of skellies here. I've always played with the sort of sword and board characters in the Dark Souls games. I like the safety of the shield. Even though better players will sort of, you know, be able to roll and duck and so on. Right, what we're going to do is we're going to head up here and head to the first bonfire up here in the Undead Berg. So when we die, which we will, we'll come back here at the bonfire. Great, so the bonfire's been lit and we can rest. We can level up if we want. And we'll add some vitality, a little bit of strength. Okay, we don't have any more souls. Alright, we'll accept that. Great. We can reverse the hollowing as well, which makes us human. We should try that. No humanity. I thought we had a humanity. Yeah, we've got an inventory or something. Humanity. Let's use a humanity. I'll show you what that does. So now you've used the humanity, and this will turn us into a human. And as a human, you get better gear, and I believe you have more health. I can't remember exactly if that's true. Can we kindle? We can kindle a bonfire with humanity as well. But now you can see we're a human. Just a plain-looking character with, you know, looks like a young boy, really. I didn't really put any effort into the character creation of this guy. I've actually finished not only Dark Souls 1, but Dark Souls 2 and 3 as well. Believe it or not, considering how poor I am at this game, but persistence is the key. You inch forward, and you get a little bit better. Up here is a ladder. We can't reach that ladder yet, but the beauty of the game, as I show you over here, is that level design is so clever that everything's connected. You can't get past that yet, but eventually we can get up there, kick the ladder down, and use this bonfire as a shortcut to the next area, which is brilliant. So these guys have come back. So a lad with a crossbow there. Take him out. I remember this game the first time just giving me so much heartache, so much pain, just because it did feel so unforgiving, and you know, it's not that it's unfair, it's just that it doesn't allow you to make mistakes. And once you accept that, you come to love the game's sort of flow. And you know, I'd feel like, oh, that enemy, you know, I fought so well against it, but I stuffed up once and I died, and it's not fair. You know, a game of like God of War and those kind of things allow you to die and die again and again and again, but this one you just don't. So we're making way over through the tower. Eventually, we're going to get up to those walls. Probably not in this playthrough, because I'm just not that good. But eventually you make it up there, and you're carried away into another world altogether, called Londo. There are giant skeletons and statues made of iron, dragons, of course, all manner of terrifying beasts for you to face. The boss fights are just sheer terror in this game. I remember just tearing my hair out because I couldn't beat them. What's in that? Ah, gold pine resin. You can use different things to enhance your character. I swear there are people that have finished this game not even wearing armor. That's incredible. And I don't know how you can get so good at a game that you can do that. Whoa, someone's firing at us from there. That's a bit of a pain. We're trapped between these two, which isn't good. You can get behind them, you can wail them a little bit and really cause them some hurt. Have a little Estus drink in the middle of battle. There's a swordsman. If you can get behind them like this, you can stab them in the back, which a lot of people do. But apparently I haven't. I want to show you, I don't know if I can get to him, but there is a fiendish character nearby who the first time I saw him just terrified me. And he might be down here. Shh, I'm going to sneak up on him. There we have it. I can't remember if they're called Hollow Knights or something there. I think it's called a Black Knight. And these guys, unless you're really good, will absolutely kick your behind from here to Sunday. Shall we attack him? What do you think? Let's do it. Oh, hello, guy. You can see already he's got so much more health than those little skellies. The camera can be a challenge of its own in the game like this, especially in confined areas like that. Have a little drink. He's very sportingly waiting for us. You really want to get behind him and... Oh yeah. Dead. If you can kill them, sometimes they'll drop one of their swords, and the Black Knight swords are really cool. If that is a Black Knight, I can't remember. I get confused between Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3. This is considered the pinnacle of the series, Dark Souls 1. Dark Souls 2 was aesthetically more all over the place. It had some really nice areas and areas that just didn't fit within the scheme of the game. You know, you'd go up a lift and then through some tunnel, and all of a sudden you'd be at ocean level, and then you go climb a mountain, and then there was more ocean higher up, and you know, a lava pit next to a forest, and it just seemed like it was designed by a team that wasn't really working together. And that's because I think the guy that designed this, I can't remember his name, it might be Miyazaki, you know, like the same name as the Studio Ghibli director, but it might be something else, but he wasn't involved in Dark Souls 2. Well, see, I wasn't really paying attention then, and I got killed by a couple of jokes. But Dark Souls 2 had its moments. I did like some parts of it. Dark Souls 3 is actually probably my favorite. It's got some really amazing areas, like the catacombs, and I love the boss design and so on. Souls 1 will always hold a very special place in my heart. Look here, it has this flash then. But I felt like there are less bonfires in this game, which some people love, but for me, it did feel more grindy than the other two. Every one of these games had an expansion or two as well. This one had a expansion called the Artorias of the Abyss, which had some new bosses and a couple of new areas. I never played that, but my good buddy Tom Gatnoff, I believe, finished the expansions and said they were excellent. He's way better at these kind of games than me. This is a guy, Tom Gatnoff, who has finished XCOM and XCOM 2 on Iron Man mode, I believe. Maybe not XCOM 2, I can't remember. I think he's playing through XCOM 2, but XCOM 1, he's played on Iron Man mode, meaning that he's played the whole game, and when you lose your squad, it's all over, which is kind of insane to me. When the squad members die, they can't come back. So, did we go up that way last time? Whoa, we're going to try and run past all these guys. Do a little jinking run. Jinking left and right, like a footballer. Outfake them. Whoa, that's not going to work. Maybe it will. Roll up there. If we weren't wearing heavy armor, that would be a lot easier. Whoa, that's gotta hurt. Somehow. I was gonna say somehow we survived, but we didn't. Well, we're struggling up there, so what I'm gonna do... Can I make it back down to show you the other area? Yeah, let's do that for a laugh. Because there is a tourist demon up there, but this is only a fairly quick video. I'm only going to play another 10 minutes or so. So I just wanted to show you another area in the game. To show you a bit about the open-endedness of it, the open world nature. You know, it's funny, I remember quite vividly as a child reading a children's book. Like a fantasy-themed book with some beautiful artwork. And it was this picture book where it had one side of the picture... Oh, come on, get out. I'm trying to tell a story, fellas. Ah, come on. Let me tell my story. Ah, outrageous. In this child's picture book, it'd have one side of the page like this, and the other side would open up, revealing a third picture. And one of the pictures had this knight about to enter a castle of green stone. And if you open the picture, there was some terrifying dragon that came out of it, and I swear this game was influenced by that picture because the castle looked straight out of Dark Souls. This is, you know, we're going back 30 or more years here. But if I could ever find it again, I would love to show you, because it is Dark Souls in a picture book. And it's one of those things you'll probably never find again, you know. Let's just kill these guys so they don't do that again to us. See, I've made that mistake of the hack and slash, when you really got to take your time and be more patient. But for the purposes of the video, you can't really do that. That's our souls there. We've retrieved them. These clowns are all waiting for us. I saw a little bit of a video the other day of a guy playing this, a speed run, and he played, I think it might have been Dark Souls 3, but the whole game didn't get hit once. So if he died even once, he had to start the video again. Can you imagine that? Imagine the patience and the insanity. That's because that's what it is. It's insanity to play through a game that much that you get so good that you don't even die once. And of course it's skill. Let's leave Rattus there. Oh, hello, guy. Don't fall off the edge. No, no, no! And he fell off too. Let's give it, I'd love to have fast travel. I think in the other Dark Souls you can fast travel, but not in this one, which is a bit of a pain. But I'm going to give it one last go. We'll run down from the berg. That's what I mean about if this game isn't very good, progress is very slow. And of course you get better at the game, but it's very hard when you just want to run through. And we're dual wielding, not dual, we're two-handed wielding the weapon now, which I can't remember how I managed to do that, but that does a lot more damage. Oh, here's some guys over here. These are tougher spearmen. And they hit you hard. You got to circle behind them. Wait for them to attack. Or you can kick them, but I can't remember what the damn kick button is. Because I'm so used to playing this on the keyboard. What I wanted to show you is down here, I believe, there is... Is there a way down? Oh yeah, staircase down. This is how unforgiving the game is. So, there is a shopkeeper down here, and you can go chat to him and go, "Hi, guy."
Well, now, you seem to have your wits about you.
Huh? Firstly, while you're chatting to them, people can still attack you. No pause, nothing. If you have obligations, if you have to go out to a party, or you got to go shopping, or the phone rings, or someone's at the door, Dark Souls doesn't care. Dark Souls won't pause. Halfway through a boss fight, no, keep playing. It's brutal. That's one of the things. The other thing is, I can, you know, purchase an item from him, get some firebombs, sure, whatever. That's fine. If you, though, forget what the talk button is or whatever, you you might accidentally go, alright, hey guy, I'll see you later, and then, whoa, just attack them. And for the rest of the game, you can never shop here again. It's all over. This guy will now never talk to us again. I think there is a priest or something you can talk to later to sort of ask for forgiveness or something, and it will bring, you know, they will sort of forgive you. But if they're dead, they're dead. And that's everyone from, you know, key non-player characters to your regular jokers like that. And the first time I played it, I accidentally attacked him, and that was ruinous, really. It didn't really affect the game too much, but you know, it scared me and it taught me a valuable lesson. Certain quest chains can be cut off straight away because you forgot to press the right button. But we're gonna head down here. We're gonna head down to the Firelink Shrine. I'm gonna take it a bit easier because you are sick of watching me do this, no doubt. Most games, 2 or 3 enemies, no problem. Dark Souls, problem. I gotta remember how how do I switch back to single weapon? I can't remember. I guess we're stuck with the two-hander. Fair enough. And you can block with that and parry, but it's just a beautiful game. The level design, you look at the moss and lichen on the walls, the ambient noises, and there's music that is played eventually, and you know, rarely, but it's just got a sorrow to it that is just wonderful. It's gothic sadness, you know. This game has been really influential. It's one of the most influential games of the generation, you know. So much so that games are referred to as Souls-like games, and you know, often they are, often they aren't. You know, if a game is tough, they call it a Souls-like. Often it's a very tenuous link. Off you go, pal. See you later. Goodbye. The tribe has spoken. It's time for you to go. But nothing truly comes close to matching the sheer majesty of Dark Souls. Whoa, yeah. Take that. I imagine many of you have played Dark Souls, but if you haven't, do yourself a favor and pick it up. It's available on all the platforms, Xbox, PlayStation, PC, of course, and you know, even Nintendo Switch. Dark Souls on the go. Let's level up. Get some dexterity. Okay. Now, how do we get to the graveyard? That's what I wanted to show you. I love the Firelink Shrine music where we are here. Eventually there's a giant serpent that comes out of the water there, and it's quite eerie. The whole game is linked, you know, areas, secret paths that, you know, were off limits to in the beginning, you can reach. There is a whole area down there that eventually takes you down to a demonic realm. Up there in the clouds is a forgotten castle. There is fortresses that remind me of, you know, traps out of Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. There is this haunted graveyard areas where skeletons come to life. There's some giant skellies that are going to meet us real soon, which the first time I saw scared the crap out of me. Even these guys they're beyond our level, and we're probably not going to be able to even defeat them, but I'm going to run past, or I'm going to try, because I want to show you like one of the pretty cool enemies. Where is he? This not these insignificant skeletons, but in fact, where is he? This guy is What the hell is that? Giant Bone Lord type character who just one-shot us. Crazy. What a game. I gotta tell you, Dark Souls is probably one of my, I'm gonna say, top 5 games of all time. I couldn't name them off the top of my head, but I mean, Terraria is one. Ultimate 6 is one. Dark Souls. Probably World of Warcraft. I mean, I loved that game. Super Mario, the original. Wonder Boy and Monsterland. These are, you know, classic games, but this is definitely up there. Terraria is probably my favorite game of all time, but this would be one of them. So we're heading down now. Down through this castle. It's just hypnotizing, isn't it? Just a really eerie, lonely adventure. Lonely is the word for it, you know. Down we go. Because there are other characters in the game, but most of them are of few words. One of the other cool things about this game is if you play an online mode, which we're not, other players can invade your world, and all of a sudden you'll see some spectral knight turn up and it's another player, and he will just attack you, or you can summon players to help you in battle, and they'll team up with you and you can take down a boss together, which is just really cool. I remember Tom G helping me a little bit in Dark Souls 3, because I actually played through all of Dark Souls 1 in offline mode, and it was only in Dark Souls 3 that I finally started using the online help of other players. And I definitely made the game a little easier. Certain bosses that I wouldn't have been able to beat. Now we're down here in New Londo Ruins, which is a more ghostly area, and we're not actually supposed to come down here because, as you'll see, there are some ghosts that we can't attack soon. We're right down here and far from the light. It's a big game. It's certainly vast in scope and in variety of environment as well. There is a masterclass in level design, I gotta tell you. Off you go, buddy. See you later. These guys are just helpless. Transient curse. We can use that. So I'm going to use the transient curse. Where is that? These are all our various items we can use. Tons of interesting things. Transient curse. There we go. Use item. This will allow us to attack ghosts. So Dark Souls, as I mentioned before, really allows you to do many things in different orders. If you felt like coming down here in the beginning of the game, you could, and the game's not going to stop you. The only thing that will stop you is that it's generally a lot tougher to fight the ghosts and so on, and the bosses. Here's our first ghost. As you can see, he's already tougher than those skellies. Not as tough as the graveyard skeletons, but the original ones. And these guys, I believe, can... I think it's not curse you, they have some kind of status effect upon you. There are these creatures in the game called basilisks, which are just infuriating. They are so infuriating, because if they stare at you, not only just attack you, but I think they stare at you, they breathe this kind of noxious cloud at you, and they can curse you, and then you'll start the next life with half the health. And you actually have to find some kind of cure for it. So you're basically playing the game with half the health, and if it happens to you again, you lose another half. And so you end up playing the game with, you know, a 1 health bar. It's just so tough. I just don't know how people can play through this game without getting hit. It's amazing. So, oh, there is where I'd like to get to. That white door down there. If you can kill this guy. That is a boss fight. So if we can get down to there in this video, we shall. Don't think we will. I'm not that optimistic. Yeah, the ghost respawning. It's a grim grim world, isn't it? Oh, he just got spiked. Oh, still alive. I thought that was the end. No, we fight on. For valor! Oh, he's still alive. Sometimes the camera can be a little clunky. This is an older game. And we're dead. And we returned all the way back up to the Firelink Shrine. A lot of the game is told through these stories, like as you see there. What else can I show you before we leave? There's a lift up here, I believe. There's an NPC who would sell us things if we wish. There's a lift we might go to. Let's see if we can summon the lift. Not yet. So if we go down there... No, that just takes it back out. That's actually a lift to a cathedral up high, which the Undead Burg ends up leading you to. Grab some whatever's in there. So basically a little stone that bone that will take you back to your home filing shrine. Yeah, look. Anyway, let's find a picturesque spot up here. Oh, that's the graveyard. Should we have one more run down through the graveyard? Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Can I get past that? Yeah. Let's sneak past the skellies. Shh, quietly now. Let's not disturb the dead too much. Oh, whoa, there's our giant bone lord friend. Who actually ain't no friend of mine. I'm trying to find a path through these graves. You can hear the giant crunch of something following us. I dare not look around. Oh, there he is! No! One misstep. You died. Yeah, look. Let's leave that there. And that, my friends, is Dark Souls Remastered. A truly epic game in every sense of the word, and as I said, one of my top games of all time. This has been Games Gladiator Season 2, Episode 1. I hope you've enjoyed our little playthrough of the game. It's never meant to be comprehensive, start to finish. It's more just my impressions of the game, a little bit of trivia. Like I've said in previous videos, I want this to feel like a chat between good mates, good friends. You know, you're at my place, we're having a beer or an instant coffee, as I'm so famous for having. And we're just, you know, sitting chatting about the game. I really love doing these videos for myself and for you, because as a game developer with a young son and a family, I don't get that much time to actually play games. I spend most of my time building games or looking after my son, and or just, you know, general life. And these videos give me the opportunity to kind of experience games and just have a little bit of escapism for an hour or so, and relive games from the past, or try out games that I've heard of. And that's what the Games Gladiator is all about. It's about a bit of fun, a bit of mucking around, nothing too serious, nothing too challenging. You know what it is. It's everything and nothing. And now I'm rambling. And we will leave that there. I have some other videos for you coming up. I'm going to be making videos on a bunch of other games. I want to do maybe the Lego Lord of the Rings game, which I believe has been just taken off the shelves over the last few days. Got a bunch of indie titles to show you. We might even try Fortnite, that new game that you may or may not have heard of. Plus I'm going to do Sword and Sandals Pirates, my own game, of course. And lots of other things to come. So stick with us on the Games Gladiator. The Games Gladiator. Hi to all new subscribers. You guys are wonderful. Hi to all the existing fans. You guys are the best. And I look forward to 2019 and what it brings for all of us. All right, everyone. Bye for now, and see you real soon.